sets, I find myself staying off stage. And in the bad sets, I have to engage. I'm off the stage now, watching self flow around. I'll never touch the ground. Can't see the surface, the ledge gives me purpose. We're far from the schedule now.
Welcome to Fourside Fights,
From
featuring
the schedule.
Bonfire 10,
From the
Spinda, Chroma 09.
All right, citizens of Fourside, I'm Jack Zill, and I know, number one, Cody's recovery versus Hungrybox at Coinbox was indeed an example of a divine or god move a la Go. Number two, the Resistance Libs have won the day with the indictment of Mr. Trump, so I drink in their honor. Number three, Learning Box sucks because at the moment when I switch back to the controller, my hands feel like a rocket ship, and so, why be bad at the game when you could be good? And number four, after talking with my wife, I've come to realize that the best way to discuss Super Smash Bros. Melee without trolls like Chrome Smash is to create my own subreddit. Let's go to each side. How do you feel about the new subreddit, our SSBM discussion? Spinda.
How do I feel about the new subreddit?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Bonfire 10.
We have the daily discussion thread within SSBM already. Seems redundant.
Toph, what do you think?
Listen, you'll never catch me talking about Reddit. I don't touch that site. I don't touch that. But I'm very happy for its denizens.
Chrome, what do you think?
Tamed and I have had our back and forths, our tete-a-tetes, but it's important that I've apologized to his wife. We're gonna have dinner by candlelight, next Thursday. It's gonna be all okay.
Good. It's always good to swash beefs. Hey, welcome everybody to Fourside Fights. We've got four outstanding guests today who are going to act as pundits as I throw topic after topic at them. They'll give their takes. If they're entertaining or interesting, I'll give them points. If they're boring, repetitive, or patently unreasonable, I'll subtract points. And of course, I can mute any contestant at any time for any reason. The player with the most points at the end is our winner. They get to commentate as the three losers take it to Fourside in a free-for-all so that we can see exactly how their punditry translates to Melee. Let's get started with our first topic. This week, at various high-powered Melee events in NorCal, Pew Pew, US Fat Shroomed, and other allegedly retired or semi-retired players made huge appearances. As our scene sort of downscales from peak esports involvement, should we expect more retired players to make occasional deep runs, revealing that they've kept sharp by playing on Slippy casually? Who do you think could come out of retirement to make a big run in 2023? Let's start us off with Chrome Smash.
We always have to adapt to what's most viable in the meta. And what's most viable in the meta right now is being retired. We saw K-Toy come out and dice up Shroom so bad that everyone said, Kadoran just cannot sauce like that. Kadoran will never have it like this. And Kadoran has been practicing for 6 hours a day, every single day, while K-Toy has been doing business stuff and making a lot of money. It is entirely optimal, and I think who's going to come out of retirement in 2023, it is, of course, PC Chris. He's been practicing the whole time. He is the GOAT. He is in the ELO with me, Blur, and Crush, and we just play each other too much. He's still good.
Yeah. Bonfire, what do you think?
Yeah, speaking of what Chroma just said, it's got to be Crush. I'm from New England, and we are long overdue since we've had a last, really relevant player. So the last one actually was Dr. Lobster, who moved to New York months ago.
That Crush kind of salted the earth where Melee, once grew from him. What would it take for him to come back in this post-retirement era?
No, he was just once again ahead of the curve. See, everyone else out at it. So now he's had the longest retirement. He comes back, he's the strongest. And he already was very strong. So
yeah, for sure. Spinda, what do you think?
I think we're probably gonna see Dreffen come back. I don't know if you know, but he's definitely got some stuff going on in his personal life with new kid. But Dreffen's been around for so long, the Melee community doesn't even feel like the Melee community without him. Just because he's such an old figurehead of the community. He's led all of Ohio to greatness. We've seen so many great new players come in his wake, like Free Palestine and Essie. And people like Zealot. He's basically trained all these amazing players to become super great. So
but have any of them surpassed him?
Have any of them? I don't think so. Just because of the legacy, he was beating Bomb Soldier way back in like 2005 or whatever. I think he could come back and probably beat someone like, I don't know, Bobby Big Balls. He's always got the up smashes against Falco somehow.
Yeah, true. Toph, what do you think?
I'm a huge fan of the Dreffen answer, but I gotta say, some other pundits, they're saying PC Chris crush. I don't think those are actually going to happen. Something I do think is going to happen, you can put my bottom dollar on it, is Callball is going to do his, routine where he enters a tournament in the South, and everyone's like, oh yeah, that guy. And he's just going to win over like 4 top 30 players and then not enter anything for 2 years.
Who is the highest ranked player you think Callball could beat like 20% of the time right now in a best of 5?
Oh, Crudo.
Who?
I said Crudo, but
Crudo?
yeah.
Oh, no. Okay. Cobble was like in my first like 2 years of commentating at Nationals was the most relief to ever see on the screen because he was just constantly there, and there's not a single Cobble set that has ever existed that wasn't fun to watch. So huge
Agreed.
shout outs to Cobble. Let's move on to our second topic because you guys all seem to mostly agree there. Huge ZAIN and Golden Guardians moves that have made me rewrite this topic 4 times in 3 days. ZAIN out. AMSA in. Homemade waffles in. Panelists, who do you think will sponsor ZAIN next? And how do you feel about Golden Guardians melee moves? And to Toph, as the chief accounts man for Golden Guardians, is this roster shift indicative of your belief that ZAIN is washed and AMSA is on the come up? Let's start with Toph.
Well, the first thing I said the first thing I said when it all got kind of locked down was I said to ZAIN, well, good riddance. I don't have to cheer for a fucking Marth anymore. Of course, I love ZAIN. But I've always I used
It'll
to
be
bloom
much
with
easier
AMSA
for
at
you to cheer
Summits.
for AMSA, who you like personally and think is a
I
better
do.
melee player.
Yeah, just an all around a better person.
Yeah, generally, yeah. ZAIN has done cruel things to the people that he loves. AMSA, never.
Never.
Okay. Spinda, what do you think?
I think ZAIN's washed. He's gonna keep losing to Jmook. He's gonna keep trading sets with Cody. He's not that same dominant ZAIN that we know anymore. And honestly, the fact Golden Guardians has dropped him, it's not a coincidence that AMSA has been hitting the gym and been posting those selfies. And
Yes.
ZAIN, no gym selfies, and they picked up AMSA. It's not a surprise that they also picked up homemade waffles either. It honestly felt like he was already sponsored by them based on how much work he's already been doing for him. But ZAIN, I think he's out. He's out. I think he might have a little bit of luck with Team Liquid, though. They have a really good retirement plan for melee players.
Bonfire, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that ZAIN will continue to lose to the best player in the game, Jmook. And I think that's why it makes him a great fit for the Moguls, because, Moki as well cannot beat Jmook because he's just too good.
Oh, so you think Moist Esports right now, they're targeting players that can't beat Jmook, then what will they do? Well, is like their plan to take out Jmook themselves and then their players can flourish? Is it a buy low, sell high situation?
I just think they're focused on getting players who are playing interestingly, and like Moki's known as like one of the most cool foxes out there. ZAIN is known as maybe the only interesting and cool Marth, so kind of fits.
So this is my question, and Chrome, you can answer whenever you want, but I'm not going to call on you. What if ZAIN had won Collision and Genesis? Does Golden Guardians drop him for AMSA, or does ZAIN still leave?
Because if he won, they would have known. We all know that they would have been Mickey Mouse Majors. Somehow, some way, I would have been able to argue that those events were Mickey Mouse Majors, just as ZAIN's #1 was a Mickey Mouse #1. We need to get ZAIN back to his roots. The underdog, the shit poster, someone who just is doing unhinged things on their social media all the time. And I do think that Mogul moves, or whatever they're called, Moist, something, Ludwig's Cash Bonanza, sponsor Josh Man and get him a Visa Jamboree. I think ZAIN is a natural #2 there to support Josh Man in his push to become
all right.
the best.
Convince me of this. Points to anybody who can convince me of this, because I have a take on this, which is why should Moist Esports spend a single dollar on a melee player when they could invest their burgeoning bidet business? Like, the return on a dollar that you spend on bidets is going to outperform ZAIN any way that you cut it. Same thing for Golden Guardians. Why
Jack,
not
my
bidets?
wife will not let me have those bidets in the house. She saw that video of them installing the bidets. They went 50-50 between install correctly and destroy a home and a life. I can't have that. I can sell her ZAIN. I can't sell her the poop water shooter. I can't do it. They're correct on this.
Anybody else?
To answer your question, Jack, I mean, it's the same story of any esports team, which is that we're very fortunate that we've got some rich guy that's got a bunch of money that happens to like our little basement video game and is willing to throw money at it. So let's not ask this question and just pretend it doesn't exist.
Okay, I don't want him to make his money like on any specific like stocks or anything. It's like specifically bidets. I want to be clear about that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Is Golden Guardians going to announce a bidet anytime soon?
I'll pitch it to the team.
That does not seem very promising. All right. Any other takes on this? Is about Golden Guardians melee moves? Huge investment. 2 players for the price of 1.
I mean, I'll say this, right?
I
think that us getting Brandon is really dope. You know, not just saying this because I'm a washed-up commentator myself, who's obviously not on the team because I'm winning tournaments, but I think everything Brandon's done for the community and the voice he has, I think that's a sign that we're not just looking for like the next top player who's going to win stuff. We're like, we actually, we've got some investment in the community.
Yeah. And, winning doesn't actually make that much money compared to sling intent. So
Toph, they should pay you extra.
Yeah, I think commentators should get paid.
Where's your raise? All these new people getting hired. What's happening to the people that are already there? Nah, you cannot confirm or deny. Okay.
I'm happy. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our next topic. Major upset approaches. It's in Oregon and features Cody Schwab, AMSA, Hungrybox, Fiction, Sunsei, Lod, Kadoran, Polish Axe, and in rare form, Plup. Let's keep it simple. Who do you favor to win the whole thing? What do you think is going to happen? Who wants to go first?
Dude, if no one's going to talk, I'll just say, okay, Plup hates flights, right?
Mm-hmm.
He tweeted it. Why am I going to fewer events? I got to fly, like a connecting flight to every single event. Well, now Plup is in his own backyard. He's going to be comfortable. It's going to be, a little Oregon crew. Comfortable Plup just crushes it. And Plup wins like one event a year when no one's ready for it. I think this is going to be the event.
I don't think
Win
so.
any last year besides CEO? Was it just CEO?
It was good.
Hey,
Okay.
I honestly think
Hungrybox?
I've got Cody for it because honestly, like Cody's demon right now has just been like Jmook, right? Every ZAIN set where I go into it, I watch him just absolutely get destroyed game 1. I'm like, ZAIN's peak, he's about to crush Cody. But then the next couple games, it's like, dude, he makes Fox Marth look winnable. Like, I don't know how he does it. Like, he's doing crazy shit on his controller all the time. Like, he's breaking it, doing those like shine up airs and shit. But I think it's just gonna be Cody because like who else is gonna beat him if Jmook's not there? Like, I don't know.
Hungrybox, Fiction, Sunsei, Lod, Kadoran, Polish Axe, and Plup.
I got to take this in an entirely different direction, Jack, because you have to look at the data. You have to go past the mindset of what's happening in the game, and what's happening outside the game is most important. You've got ZAIN dropping out. Okay. You got Fiction dropping out. You got to rework all of the seeding. I don't know. He probably did. Hey, am I right? Am I wrong? We'll find out. You look at the schedule. Contra loves doubles, and I respect Contra and Jade, and they are great TOs. But the facts are real. Nobody likes doubles enough. Nobody likes doubles enough to take singles and play to 10-30 instead as a consequence. And so I have to say the winner of Major Upset is going to be the haters, which is me. I'm going to win.
That doesn't make a lick of sense. So how do you think Lod will do? Will Lod make top 3?
Lod's going to get 4th.
Lod's going to get 4th. Okay, here we go. Bonfire, what do you think?
So I don't think Fiction's dropping out. I think this is the first Fiction dub at a major tournament. He's going to win everything.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, big.
The thing is,
Yeah. Paint the picture for us.
He beats everyone. He 3-0s every single person. The thing is that I've seen Fiction's Twitter and I've seen the hieroglyphic mind art that he posts about Fox versus Falco. He's thinking about it in a different way than everyone else, and I can't understand it. And I don't think you guys can either, but he can.
Fiction is the first person who made me believe that some people see numbers as colors.
Yeah, synesthesia.
I wish I could give you a point for saying that.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't think he's going to win the whole event. I just want to tack on someone who I think is going to do really, really well, like top 4, top 3, S2J. I actually think S2J. Remember Shine
I
S2J
didn't
last
know
year?
S2J
Where it
was going. Yeah.
So
Okay, he's
S2J at Shine last year, where he was, and it was like, oh my god, he actually might win. So he's been playing a lot lately with like the NorCal guys. You saw him at the NorCal tourney last week.
Absolutely.
He's been looking really good, and I feel like Jotty's one of those guys where like when he's playing good, people are like, oh yeah, that guy. And he just kind of beats people. He's figured out Sheik. He's not really struggling with that match where he kind of dunked on Spark. I think he's got a really, really solid shot.
Okay. So this begs the question for all the people that we think are not going to beat IBDW or Cody rather. I had it right the first instinct. What do you think is S2J's path to beating Cody? Because that's where I'm like, I don't see any world where good Fox. Like Cody, who is not just at good Fox level, he's at doing things no Fox has ever done level in the past month or two. How's he supposed to stop that?
Same thing that always takes down every Fox. The curse that the world puts on Foxes so they can't travel well. Maybe medication goes missing. Maybe the 20th straight horrible thing happens in Cody's personal life that causes him to not play quite as good. He loses to Stiv in winners and then has to play 15 straight sets in losers. And then, just collapses on the stage and gets third.
There is something to be said for like Coinbox performances being essentially hermetically sealed, and like Oregon is very exposed to the elements.
It's cold.
The thing about Fox is if you grab Fox, he can't run away. And I think Falcon's got a great follow-up off grab. He just needs one, and then Fox is dead off for a few reaction tech chases. Fewer than even Sheik.
Skepticism, Spinda.
Well, Cody's had a lot of issues with the major curse for Foxes, right? But he's somehow come out on top, like, more often than not. Like, when he won Riptide, I'm pretty sure everyone was partying next to his room all night long. And then, at the most recent tournament... yeah, no, we were both in it, but I digress. What tournament did he go to recently? I'm sorry, I'm such
Collision.
a boomer.
Collision.
Wasn't he talking about someone's alarm going off for like hours and hours at night? Like, and he's still like, he plays top 3 still? Like, even though he suffers from the Fox curse, like, he's still performing at the absolute like top level. I don't think that there's anything that could really happen unless it forces him to like drop out or something. But even then, like, his name was IBDW for a reason.
Yeah, I think that there at the early part of Cody's career, there was a pretty big correlation between tweets about things going wrong and like performance, or like an inverse correlation, right? The more tweets about things going wrong, the worse he did. That correlation has been getting real loosey-goosey over the years. It's starting to become almost Leffen-esque, where it's like Twitter is the release valve rather than like the actual indicator of performance.
It might not be that bad, but yeah,
okay.
I generally agree.
And have you noticed the way that he tweets about the bad I mean, I can't dig up the tweet right now, but the way he tweets about the bad things that happen to him, they're a lot more chipper. Like, he was talking about the party going on next, and he was like making a joke about it at like 3 a.m. You know, I feel like a couple years ago, it would be like, oh, this is terrible.
Yeah.
You know, but
I mean, Panda had him in a straitjacket when it comes to like emotional satiation. So it's probably good that that's been ended.
And physical satiation.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
We didn't think about that.
I know that you had a lot to do with that policy, but we can move on to our next topic.
I was right, and I'll be vindicated by science and God.
Following major upset, DreamHack San Diego is going to have Axe, Kadorn, and Amsa, and Smash Camp will feature Spark, Fiction, and Axe, among others. Let's discuss the classic Smash Camp discourse. Should Smash Camp count for rankings? Anybody have a strong opinion? Yeah.
I think it should count more for rankings, because we might as well put controller shot put, boost that on the rankings too. Like, if Axe has a better throw than Kadorn, just bump him up a spot. Like, no big deal. Because that, being able to play Melee well and also just have a great time matters so much, because we are fostering a community here. Smash Camp should have always counted, and I am a firm believer of that. Ever since Free Palestine got robbed that one time after getting 4th place or something, I am still stuck on that. We need Smash Camp to count. If we're counting, what's that one tournament with Mute City? what's it called? The off
Off-season.
season. We counted the off season. Okay, it's literally called the off season. We played on Mute City. Like, what if someone like wobbled for one stock or something, and it's like, oh, it was just one stock in top 8, no big deal. No, it's against the main rule set
Everything
that
in
we
moderation.
use.
Everything in moderation. Anybody,
Wait, so-
anybody disagree with this?
Well, I have an actual take here. I have a real response.
That was a real take.
No
What are
one
you talking about?
No. I'm sorry. That is a real take. But I've got. Sorry, I thought I should say this.
You've
is
got
a
an actual
premeditated
take relative to your
I've got
other
a-
takes today, which have been stupid.
Precisely. Listen,
Sure. Okay.
we're all beating around the bush here with Smash Camp. You know, we all know which sets matter and which sets don't. Some players are just sober the whole fucking event, and some are high. We know who's sober and who's high. Spark, that guy, we saw Spark at a charity event, and Spark was literally like chain grabbing bottom tiers at a charity event. Okay,
right
like
to do it.
Ludwig got
deserved it.
top
They
8 or
deserved it.
shit.
He's right to do it.
We already know. I mean, if we have to solidify it, we can make a spreadsheet. I'll start the spreadsheet. It can be a Google sheet. And just we have a checkbox next to each player. Does this person smoke a bunch of weed or not? And if they're sober the whole event, their sets count. And if, they're just fucking baked off their ass and having a great time in nature, more power to them, then their sets maybe count less. I'm just saying, we already know which sets count or not. Let's just formalize.
This is a 1v1.
I-
Spinda versus Toph.
So, but there's some players who are always drinking or they're always high off their ass, and that's just their normal though. Where do we find the balance there?
Good point. Now, I would say for those players, they know that when they go to your normal major, your Genesis or your Big House, they know what they're getting into. They play a set on stream or what have you in tournament. And if they're high or they're drunk, they know that they're only doing it to themselves. But if they're at Smash Camp, I say we let them unwind and, we take it less seriously. We could do the thing where only the wins matter and the losses don't. I've never been opposed to that. I've always thought that was, a reasonable system.
I don't know. I just feel like you have to know we have to breathalyze people at some point then, right? Because some people are really good at hiding it. They are good at melee. They're good as shit at melee when they drink off their ass. Like, I'm gonna use an example. My Chicago goat, Skurzo, he is always drinking at mid lane, right? And sometimes you might take a loss, but also if you can beat drunk Skurzo, that says something about you. Usually it's a Marth, but that doesn't matter. But Skurzo is a great example of someone who is always drinking, but literally is just always crazy at the game. So
no, it's a good point. I mean, back in the Foundry days, there were certain. So Shroomed is a perfect example, and there's 3 levels of Shroomed. There's completely sober Shroomed. There's drunk off his ass Shroomed, and that beating drunk off his ass Shroomed, everyone's done that. It really, you shouldn't even be proud of yourself. And then there's average drug Shroomed, which is no, that's actually a good win because he knows how to play.
I want to interrupt you. Should this count for commentary too? When people are making commentary feedback threads, should I get a little check mark that indicates what substances I am or am not on at the time?
As a commentator, I actually always say that alcohol is actually a performance enhancer.
It's your responsibility at that point.
We're building a bad culture. Chroma Bonfire, what do you think? You've been out of the circle.
I think you can't have your cake and eat it too. I think that has to count, and that anyone who's showing up and planning to go drink and get high, you can enter as Falco Master if you want, but if you're entering as your main tag, it's going to be counted. And it's also the only way that CPU Zero gets ranked at all, because he doesn't go to enough majors, and I need him in top 100 because he's amazing.
Or my system, because we know who's sober. Again, my system works here. I'm just saying.
Your system requires people to enter this Byzantine document that you say you're going to maintain, but I've heard many promises on this show of documentation that do not come into fruition.
I've already passed on the bidet suggestion.
No, that also means that. Well, that also means if you have someone, but for Toph, if someone does do well when they're high, then if they can just say, well, no, this does count now for me. It's no, if you're getting messed up, then you have to say, no, don't count this one. You don't get to, it's just saying offsetting your losses.
Look, I think there are a lot of very simple solutions here. Keep the top players in cages the entire time. But besides that, really, when you look at performance over the entire year, you have to wonder, is this normative? If you get high at 25% of your tournaments and you play like that, that's kind of how you're going to do. At the end of the day, there have been a lot of good ideas, but I'm going to go with the way that I normally do this, which is Mikey and I sit in a smoke-filled room. He passes me $500 unmarked bills of cash, and I decide whether each player does or doesn't count based on whether it's going to work out better. Fiction gets a pass, as always. I've heard that he is already on weapons-grade hallucinogens. I think the only player for whom this does not count.
Yeah, the CIA is still doing experiments on Fiction to this day. He's the last one in the program.
He signed up willingly.
Yeah. He walked up and said, "Give me what the Unabomber got."
He built a lot of projects in his house. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, let's move on to our next topic. At this last summit, I didn't watch much because I still don't know anything about Ultimate, but I did watch Grands and a few of the sketches, and it's crazy to me how funny which doesn't maybe speak too well for professional sketch comedians, but that's a different topic. Do you think someone will take on the task of making post-BTS Smash sketch comedy now? Who are actually going to be the ones who do it? Are you raising your hand for me calling you?
It is the start of the Great Pirate Era, Jack. It's time for you to watch all 1,050 episodes of One Piece to understand this reference. Please don't take 40 points away from me. You should do it. It's very based. Anything is open now. They were the kings of content, and at their execution by the evil panda, somebody asks them, "What is your secret? Where is all the content?" And they say, "I left everything in one place." And that one place is in the minds of deranged people and probably a two-hitter of weed. Anybody can do this, and they all should. We should all rush to our computers right now and make content. That's kind of what we're doing here, Jack.
Do it like Summit. What are you talking about? They have like high definition cameras and cinematography.
You don't need any of those things.
I'd like it.
You would, of course. Yes, I'd like a lot of things too. I'd like a nice car, and I would like my mower to respect me. But my mower does not respect me. And I.
All right, who's going up next? I'm muting Chroma.
All right. Well,
go ahead.
I got something. So, all right, Chroma brought up these deranged people in the community who need to come forward and start producing content, like right now, right? How about we just bring back Sandbox, or use whoever made those amazing Last Stock Legends, all those episodes, and we just pay them to go film the deranged smashers who are not making the content themselves, because we would have the equipment, and honestly, the story can just tell itself most of the times. There's so many communities where just crazy shit is going on all the time. We don't even know about it. I don't know. I'm from Pittsburgh. There's so much crazy shit I could tell you, but there's no Samox here to record me and have me just like do something crazy.
Samox had to take some of the money from the initial fundraising for the second dock into like capital investments in equipment, right? Where's all that equipment, Samox?
100%. No, Samox has been, he actually invented a thing called competitive sand stacking.
Oh,
that's what he's been up to. Have you seen that? Yeah, it's actually dope.
Yeah.
I'm really glad. I'm going to tack on to what Spinda said. I'm really glad you brought that up. I think that what we do have, and this is to kind of tie break here between what Chroma suggested and what I think the reality is. It's true. We don't have the fancy equipment. We don't have, the cameras and that je ne sais beautiful crystal clear production value brings. That's pertinent. But what we do have is we've got crazy writers. And I think that what we very much can do is bring the scripts and just, hire, it could be Samox, it could be literally the Beyond the Summit content team. Many of them are still looking for, for work and for gigs. And I think there's potential there. Yeah, they didn't die. It's very, very true.
Okay. So get Mikey, pull him, give him a couple bucks to write some shit up. Bonfire, what do you think?
Or write it yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mikey rejected all my submissions.
Well, that's on him.
Yeah.
To be honest, I just don't see it happening to anywhere near the extent that Summit was doing, because what most people don't have is access to top players, and that's and like figureheads. That's kind of relevant for the Melee community. And if you don't have that, and you're still making good sketches, you're just a person who's good at making sketches, which is like, why are you limiting that piece of content to the Melee community in the first place? If you want to, that's fine, but like, you need someone who's like truly great at making sketches in the first place.
This is a really great take.
Wait, I want to respond to that though.
Yeah, the limiting function is getting all that equipment to a tournament with a lot of top players.
And even then on an event, it's like you're doing video once every month, maybe. If you can get to every major, it's like that's not realistic.
You have 5 minutes, you have 3 hours of their time at an event, right? All these sketches were done on media days. Toph, what do you think?
It's true, but I want to raise a counterpoint, which is that I don't think some of the greatest sketches that are coming out in recent Melee history necessarily have top players in them at all. Have you guys seen the trailer for the Oregon local series Ass? I'm just gonna paint the picture because you probably saw it and forgot. It's like a dude pulling up to a Melee tournament at someone's house, but there's like all the top players are in like the basement and they're like wearing like cultist clothes and shit, and they're like doing weird chants, and it's just like, but it's and there's I didn't recognize anybody in that. I didn't recognize anybody in the trailer, but it was so brilliantly crafted and well shot, and like I was like, I want to watch this tournament series, and I have no idea who any of these people are. Well, and like northeast Ohio, like there are crazy, they're hilarious people in Northeast Ohio, right? Like I local scene could
I have a counterpoint.
Barlucci promo videos they go so hard, right? Jeffy is just a mastermind of creating a different promo every single week for a bar tournament in Northeast Ohio. I think that takes talent. I think it takes skill. And I also think it just makes the community better, like overall.
So
it just proves we don't need like top players in them in order for them to be like relevant and cool or to like gain traction.
I do think though that sounds to me like you're going to create pockets of culture that don't talk to each other in the same way that we get with
exactly.
Go ahead.
That's what I was going to say, that we don't if you don't have people gaining these things gaining traction, it's like, Toph, what you described sounds like something I'd be interested in, and I'm in the Melee community pretty actively and I didn't see it. Why? It's like because it probably didn't actually gain a ton of traction like top players give things. And is that really a functionally good piece of content then? I'm sure it was well written and entertaining for you, but who did it reach?
I have a solution to this.
Go ahead, Karma.
Top players are like seals. Delightful, enjoyable, highly trainable, and you can incentivize them.
They make funny noises.
10 a.m. doubles pools. They get to help film some promos. You know, they don't want to have like an 8-hour gap between singles here and singles there. It's time to recreate drunk history, Melee style. I don't know. You don't want top 8 to start at 8 a.m. Let's go refilm the Owen Wilson part of Yeah Right. You know, we've got some chips to use here.
I do like the idea of a drunk Melee history where if we can't get Mango to do content, just have somebody play Mango. I think that actually could work decently well. I also would say that I'm now having an idea just in this moment, which is perhaps we could use channels that already exist in the Melee community that are relatively popular and kind of vacant land. Like, for instance, twitch.tv/MeleeItOnMe or BTS Smash. I don't know where the keys to that are, though. I think they might have buried them in the house that they burned down. All right, let's move on to our next topic. Our next topic comes from our patron, Guppy. This is our first patron topic, I think, ever. At least that I'm actually crediting somebody for. Well, I steal their stuff all the time, but I usually don't credit it because the language is not good enough. There is a perpetually spinning treadmill of suggested rule set changes, and yet the game is fundamentally the same as it has been since UCF first dropped. Is all this discussion blowing hot air, or would Melee actually benefit from an updated rule set? Okay, Chroma, you raised your hand again. Very polite. Good
First of all, I would like to thank our patron Guppy. Guppy, fantastic question. I would encourage everyone to thank our patrons. They are geniuses. They are our strongest soldiers. It is really just like talking in the Athenium Colosseum of wherever they had government. To answer this fine, beautiful question, I think we do need an updated rule set. I think we got to get that ledge grab limit. We got to get that nailed down. You shouldn't have to time somebody out and grab 30 times or something like that. It's got to be, as soon as you hit a 30, there should just be sirens that go off and, we just fire gack, like slime at the stage, and everyone is forfeited immediately. What we should also do is destroy every controller that I don't like. And I'm going to decide what I don't like basically based on whims. I like these things. I think we need to do this. If we can have a tournament that counts for the rule set that has Mute City, I don't see why I can't ritualistically destroy a hitbox every single time I see them wave dash too far.
So in your world, would it be like when Pipsqueak wins, box unbanned. When Pipsqueak like loses, box banned. Wait,
no. The box is banned. Frame 1 is good because Pipsqueak is based.
Okay, I see what you mean. So
Whatever
Pipsqueak
Chef Rock
has to
plays
just
on, I
become-
can't take
yeah,
the controller away from him. He's too strong.
Sure. I hear you. Anybody else?
I think we definitely need to change rule set. And by change rule set, we need to go back. And you know what we need to do? We need Pokemon Stadium back. You know why? Because this is a beautiful game we're playing. There are so many games out there with random elements that allow high levels of competitive play. People use them to their advantages. There's so many things you can do to prep for the random elements we've had in this game. We've been playing for 20 plus years. We need to ban the box controllers, or we can just make any controller legal at this point. Because, first of all, Pittsburgh was right. I just got to say that. There was a slippery slope, and now that we're falling down the slippery slope, if a TO says, no, I don't want to fall down the slippery slope, then you are considered
Just go
bad
right to
and
the bottom of that slope. That's what I'm
We
saying.
should be giving our TOs ladders to defeat the slippery slope and send these greasy controller players down into chaos. You can't show up with 15 different macros. You can't do it.
About people being good at dealing with those random things on Pokemon Stadium. When you say people, you're referring to Fox players, right?
Well, you can.
No.
Everyone can pick Fox. Spinda is correct. You can just go to the character select screen, select Fox. It's something that everybody can do. It's something that I recommend everybody do. We should get Pokefloats back too.
So
if you don't
Bonfire, what do you think?
no,
So-
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
You
well,
go first, Bonfire.
my main
Yeah,
thing.
go ahead.
I don't want 7 minutes. I don't want 6 minutes. I don't even want 5 minutes. The timer should be on a 4-minute timer.
Yes.
And this is not me exaggerating. I've tweeted this out multiple times in the past.
Yes.
Timeouts are sick. And whenever there's a timeout, everyone is looking around like cheering. It's insane. Why do we not want timeouts? And people like Peach players will be like, no, you don't understand. Samus Peach really does need a full 7 minutes. It's like, I don't care. It shouldn't. I don't want to watch that. Makes brackets go faster.
I actually wish that this episode had a floaty, because I'm with you, Bonfire. I don't get it. Their arguments don't make sense. Like floaty players, it's like they're speaking a foreign language when it comes to this.
I can represent the Sami here, okay? I played at the local. The most exciting Samus versus Samus Ditto in a friendly and on a 3-man rotation, and it took 7 minutes and 30 seconds. I swear to God, there was not a moment that we were waiting for each other to run at each other.
Yeah,
Jack, you're a
exactly.
terrorist. That's unfair.
But the point is,
isn't.
it's not like the hits that you got with the 7-minute timer are somehow less impactful on a 4-minute timer. They're more impactful.
I agree.
So winning neutral matters more if it's a 4-minute to take
I think
Bonfire's
the feeling that
example.
floaty players have is that I like having a long game that's 7 minutes of just constant interactions like that. There's not really anything else like that in Melee.
Do you know who doesn't
We
like
don't.
that? You know who doesn't like that? And I'm not gonna do the everyman thing with the viewers. TOs don't like that. Stream runners don't like that.
Viewers.
Viewers as well. But the people who really matter, production staff, they get annoyed when there's a bunch of floaties in top 8. And I'm thinking about those people. Okay, I'm thinking about Spencer, who needs some sleep for God's sake. Okay, I want to do something for those people. They get happy when there are 4 foxes in top 8.
Jack, I
Yeah.
can explain this to you
JD
in
just
language
said that
you
base to that
understand.
take, so I do have to give you extra points. This is the first time JD has signed on to a take that I've ever heard in the history of the show. So that's a little point care package from JD for you.
I'm always thinking about the streamers.
Jack, I
Here's-
can get you there.
I have something to say. Unless Chroma wants to go first, it's fine.
This
How about
one
you
will
two
pierce
1v1?
into
Chroma
Jack's
goes
brain.
first.
All right. Jack, what type of person profits off of taking a common good or resource and sitting on it for a long amount of time, more time than maybe they should have, being able to use it as a common resource, and profiting off of all the collective good that we put into that, but then for some strange reason still staying on the good,
JD, I'm gonna need the camera.
benefiting from the good. What do we call that, Jack?
We call that a landlord, and the public domain has been squandered. You know what I'm saying? The public domain has been squandered in this country. All right, but I'm not going to give you any points. That was the most that anybody has tried to fillet me in this show's history, and I'm not accepting it. Brenda, what did you think?
Well, Chroma, I think that was great. I loved that. But I had something to say to Toph, and it was,
Hello.
I have a solution. We need jury duty, but like for volunteering at a Smash tournament, where we select people to volunteer, because if they're competing specifically, if they're competing, we don't have to like select based on mains or anything, just totally random. To
speed,
pay
maybe.
for their sins for timing people out in Samus Dittos, even though they're approaching the whole time.
We should also have top players do this.
Yeah, everyone.
I think everybody.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
This is a great take. I also love juries, but you didn't even know that, and you brought it up. Unlike Chroma, who tried to play on pre.
Oh, so I'm being penalized for being a good listening friend. Jack, how is the lifting going? You look strong.
Thank you. You know, it's okay. All right, let's move on to our next topic. We're gonna do a speed round here. These questions all come from Reddit because I'm lazy. So like we've been doing like 10-15 minutes a topic. We're gonna cut that in half or less. First one: what low tier is gonna have the next renaissance?
Falco.
Game and Watch. Game and Watch.
Pichu.
That's not a low tier.
Falco.
Game.
Falco?
Yeah, Falco's the worst character in the game.
I said it for
Everybody-
Dr. Mario.
There's a psychological curse every Falco player has
You
that
mean-
makes them to actually play the game correctly when it comes
Chroma,
to tournament. They can't do it.
Do you mean that Mango's gonna hit global elite and enter majors again?
He's never entering majors again. Dad's gone. I give up. I am
But you
so
would-
down
but-
abysmal.
But you wouldn't bet me on this for $100.
For $100, when does he come back?
Went up certainly by next Genesis. I would say as recently as probably Big House.
As Big House. You think he's entering back in Big House? I take that.
Yeah.
I take that. $100. Yeah.
Wait, actually?
Yeah.
All right,
I don't
let's go.
think he comes back.
Check on it. Check on it.
There's
Yeah.
a casino in Detroit. Of course he's coming
That's
back
beautiful.
for Big House.
Beautiful,
won't enter.
beautiful money
No,
on
he's
the
entering-
line
he's
here.
entering-
We love
he's
to
entering
see it on
Big House.
Fourside Fights.
Yeah.
I heard Pichu as well in Game & Watch. What's Pichu? The case for
Pichu's a
Pichu?
crazy take.
The case for Pichu is, have you seen these Pichu players who are entering like only noobs and like starting to go to majors and actually like just beating people on stream? It's crazy. I think that Pichu is a lot better than people think he is, and that he is going to maybe not rise a ton because, you know, he's still Pichu. He damages himself. He's really small, will die really early.
All right, that's your time. Bonfire, what do you think?
Yeah, I watched our local Game & Watch main, Glock My Toyota, go on like a 6-month hiatus, then come back and go last stock Game 5 with Calvar, and it's a good character. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, long range. All right, let's move on to our next Reddit topic. If Prime Ken was teleported to today, around what placement would he get at a super major?
96.
Chroma, you can start as our point loss leader.
He would win. He's the best player of all time. This is very simple. He invented that you can't move when you grab people. He invented dash dancing. I watched him out, no practice at all, defeat Santiago and Sistog Westballs. He can do anything if he wants to.
Yeah.
And I'll
got
never be
too- it
proven
got
wrong
too
because he'll
easy.
never enter again.
He
Yeah,
got
If you
65th.
want the actual answer to this question, Jack, you just YouTube search Toph versus Ken for his first performance at a tournament on stream after retirement, and you'll get your answer to this question.
He
It's that
failed
simple.
that first test. I remember Lovitch saying, "This is the first test Ken has to face," and he failed it.
Oh no. No,
I
no.
was
I
was
skipped
there
to
when
minute
the ancient magic
752
was
and it
written.
wasn't good. But here's the thing, Toph. How many times have you been on Survivor? So
That's true. That's true. That's true. And you
Haven't
know,
even-
the
probably,
funny thing is, we had a weekly Smash Fest in Seattle. Every Friday, we would get together, we'd watch Survivor, and we'd see how Ken did, and then we'd play a bunch of Melee. It was great times.
Brenda,
So-
what do you think?
Well, I said 96th, or is it 97th? I don't know. I mean,
Sure.
we look at Mango's Dr. Mario. I cannot imagine that Ken's Marth is much better than Mango's Dr. Mario. And Mango, I mean, he had to play like Mateo, who's like number 100 in the world for that placement. I don't think Ken is going to beat people like of that caliber like in the bracket like that. So he's getting like 97th, maybe 65th.
Bonfire, how does Prime
Yeah.
Ken do? Not Ken today, Prime Ken.
Oh, Prime
Yeah,
Ken. That is a different
yeah.
question.
I mean, no, it's just like, I just estimate that around Reeve. He like maybe gets top 64, but more realistically gets like
Reeve as
knocked
Prime
out.
Ken is a great take.
Yeah,
That
it's
makes
just
me like
that's just,
Reeve even
it's
more.
like 101. It's like, yeah, it's close, but like, nah,
Ken
you're
is
not getting
stronger.
that far.
Ken is stronger in real life.
Okay, let's move on to our next topic. Who is
Reeve's
the
Jack.
coolest floaty in Melee history?
Player or
This is
character?
king.
The coolest floaty in Melee history. That's just what the. Okay, I'll load up the Reddit topic.
The answer is the King, Jack. The King changed everybody's life. He made Puff cool. He made it neat to actually jump and then jump again and then jump again and do combos. The King changed the way that
The way
I
you
view the
said that
game as a
didn't
child.
sound cool.
What?
Is Luigi a floaty?
Yeah.
Yes.
A bait. Obviously,
Oh,
a bait.
a bait.
He was
Pitch
a
bait to
D1
me.
athlete. He has amazing interviews like on Red Bull and he's got so many amazing moments in the Melee community. Like clearly the coolest floaty. Clearly.
Yeah, very dreamy.
King also
Joe?
had interviews.
I
Were
think
they cool?
I'll go ahead and say, and this is kind of there's some recent relevance here. I'm gonna have to say Taj's Mewtwo, the stuff of legends, obviously, and we were talking about Mango's performance at Genesis and all that's what's pertinent.
Yeah.
Still has what it takes.
Bonfire.
Okay. I don't know why everyone's ignoring the person that King inspired, which is Mango. Such a cool floaty player that he stopped playing floaties.
Mhm,
I think that's
uh-huh.
ultimately what does it.
The coolest thing any floaty player can
Yeah.
do is stop playing a floaty. That is, we all agree on that. Okay, let's move on to our next topic. Who is the biggest, quote, one-hit wonder, unquote, in Melee history? Chroma.
Touchdown Juan. All it takes is one hit.
Oh.
Dude, honestly, Kage's Ganondorf. There was a solid period, like when Kage ended, Mango didn't lose anything tournament related for like 2 years. And Kage ended that streak and we were like, holy shit, Ganondorf is actually fucking amazing. And then and then as quickly as it started, it stopped and we realized it was just Ganondorf. But there was a glimmer.
There was a glimmer. All right, Bonfire.
Me. Yeah. I got 33rd at Genesis. I played 11 sets straight, avoiding any relevant Fox somehow to get until 25th to play. Now I played against Milkman.
And you think
That's not
33rd
happening again.
counts as a wonder?
Yes, for me playing Sheik, I am never getting that far again. That's statistically impossible with the amount of Foxes.
Oh, shit, except for J-Mook. Spinda, what do you think?
For me.
For me, it's got to be Essie. But way back during Red Bull Gods and Gatekeepers, if you remember that tournament, didn't get picked. She didn't get picked for the crew battles, but ended up just going on a tear, destroying the entire bracket. Was I think like 17 at the time. Like there are very rarely moments where we see stuff like that in Melee, and especially being in Ohio during that, it was just amazing.
Everybody was like, new god? No. Next question. Which player has the best spot dodge in Melee history? Again, all this grammar taken directly from Reddit. Bonfire, you want to start us off?
Dreffen. Yeah, Dreffen.
Which was the best spot dodge?
A single one or a player? Like in general,
which player has the best spot dodge? I don't understand grammatically what this indicates, but yeah.
I mean, sorry to steal Spinda's answer. Dreffen. We've all seen the combo video.
We've
that
all
we won't
seen
repeat the name
charge
of.
needles, spot dodge.
Here's the thing. I'll tack on. Here's another, Ohio Pittsburgh player. Dreffen's got a lot of other things going for Dreffen. Borp doesn't have that much else going on, but Borp is like Dreffen level spot dodges, but not much else. So, density wise, I would say Borp.
Who has the best spot dodge in Melee history? Chrome, what do you think?
It is a 1,048th way tie for every single Falco that has ever played this game. Second is every single Fox that has ever played this game.
Okay. Let's move on to our next one. Which Melee player had the best B moves?
Chillin',
dude? Chillin' dude got B moved on by Leffen.
It was his B move.
Oh, okay. He was stealing his color and his B moves.
I don't know if I'm showing my age with this answer, but I gotta say Lamb Chops. Like the way Lamb Chops used Falco's laser was actually just beautiful. So I gotta say Lamb Chops.
Give me a brief picture for the noobs.
No, so like there was when I started actually as a Falco main, and then I eventually switched to Fox. And like Falco's laser, when I learned it, was like you have short hop laser, and it's really good. And like Lamb Chops was the first person who really opened the entire Falcon community's eyes to like, you've got double jump laser, Isaiah drop laser on the platforms. You've got like full jump laser to catch double jumps and then like combo into forward smash. That sequence that Shizwiz did of like laser up smash on Mewtwo King on the top platform in that match that has 1 million views, like that, like the real ones know that was
There's
like
only one of Falco's B moves though. I can't give you too many points for this.
Yeah,
You're
but
just
you
describing
shoot it.
laser setups.
But
I'm
you
talking
shoot it
all the B
300
moves.
times.
Linda, what do you think?
God, this is such a Reddit question. I did not use Reddit like at all. Best B moves is just like, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. How do you see the game so differently than me to think about best B moves?
I use B moves all the time. I love Fox's B moves. The only reason Fox players don't use his B moves more is because his green moves are so good. Bonfire.
Yeah, J-Mook's needles. I don't know how they always hit. People think that it's like that it makes sense that they hit, and it's like, no, each one of these is a read. People can see you charging the needles and just change the timing of their recoveries, and he still just hits them.
Yeah.
All right, Jackzilla, I just want to say I'm a little bit confused by you popping off for J-Mook's needles, but saying that Falco's lasers.
I gave you 5 points and then subtracted 2. I gave Bonfire 1 point.
I do have another answer though. Since you clarified, I do have another.
So inconsistent.
No.
Toph, go ahead.
I apologize. I do have another answer, which is what's his name? Armada's Young Link. Because if you want to use all the B moves as an example, let me tell you, that Young Link used all the B moves to take those sets off Hungry Box.
Bring it home. That's right. All right, let's move into the next topic. Who is the most underrated J-Mook fan? Spinda.
Etost, right? Made all the J-Mook shirts, all the
underrated.
Yeah, underrated.
Underrated.
That is a lot of work.
Etost will let you know every second of every day that Etost is a J-Mook fan. Everybody knows Etost is a J-Mook fan. Not underrated.
But he's putting in the work.
No. Bonfire.
We had the correct answer already, so it's Etost. There's no expanding on that. He is.
This is the most fan, not the most underrated fan that you're giving me. Chroma.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No. You go first.
Okay. I actually think the answer is all of J-Mook's like day one, like upstate New York friends. You know, like the ones where he skipped the bachelor party and they still showed up. An example here is JD, aka Poonslayer or Soon Player 7, who actually just beat Hacks at the Nightclub. I would say underrated in that nobody really thinks of them as much as they should when it comes to J-Mook day ones, and also underrated in the game.
Okay. Toph, underrated J-Mook fan.
Yeah, here's the kind of answer you're looking for, I think, when you say underrated. The answer is actually Bobby Scar. So I've known Bobby for, like 20 years or whatever, and that man, like, to his core, used to hate Sheik. And like in a really visceral, I mean, you've heard his commentary, right? Like, and
more than he ever hated Puff?
Because he's a Falcon. Like, Puff was like a conceptual hate, right? Like, oh my God, look what this Puff is doing to this player. But Sheik was like personal, like, oh my God, I fucking hate Sheik because she does stuff.
What do you got?
And it was not a conceptual hate. I have heard that man talking over like a set of Mango's Jigglypuff. I swear to you, I wish I could find it on like Brinstar or Mute City or something. It was like, I fucking hate Jigglypuff. She just has that stupid back air and all these fucking rests, man. Like he was dropping F-bombs. He was freaking out.
No, that was conceptual. You don't understand. He was
conceptual. So okay, maybe conceptual is the wrong word, but what I mean is the hate was directed as a spectator. He's watching Mango's Puff fight someone else. Sheik was always about his Falcon versus Sheik. And he was in the crowd at the last Genesis, where Genesis 8, where J-Mook got second. And he was like watching, he was like, J-Mook is a ninja. Sheik is a ninja. Sheik is a ninja. Like she's doing ninja moves.
You are laundering Bobby Scarisms into your points, and I will accept that in this moment. But we got to move on to our next question. Next Reddit question. The final one ripped directly from the Reddit headlines. Does this game feel like crack to anyone else?
Yes.
I don't think it does. I've never tried crack, but probably not.
I really wouldn't know.
Well, Cocaine Wednesday incorporates a lot of different elements of the world of being excited and pharmaceuticals, and I gotta say yes. And I think the thing that kind of, there was this blog post I really liked that talked about a bunch of different fighting games, which was basically the way that they wrote about Marvel was the way that I feel about Melee and a lot of people feel about Melee. It was about like catching the spirit of Marvel, and everything was just all consuming. And they talked about playing this tournament one day, and they just kind of like almost disassociated. Like they were just out of it. And they were just like, I don't really care what happens anymore. I don't really care about being the best. And they just like, all of a sudden they came down, and they came down forever, and they never felt the same way about Marvel again. And so I think the game is a little bit like crack that way.
Okay. So because Marvel is like crack, you also feel like Melee is like crack. Okay.
Like how they talk about Marvel is how anyone that I know talks about Melee. Like retiring is almost just like, I'm not just going to smoke a bunch of crack anymore. I'm going to do it sometimes.
I don't know. I feel like Melee is just not nearly as popular as crack is. So I think it cannot.
That's an excellent
How many
point.
copies sold of
be-
crack?
Yeah, how many copies did crack sell? It definitely outsold Melee for the Nintendo GameCube. You already have the console installed. It's right there.
The CIA did a lot to sell copies of crack.
All right, let's move on to we have right now coffee memorial questions. This is from famous poster Coffee from he's one of our most legendary posters. The first one. Would Sunsei, with 5 hours of Metafy lessons and a newly calibrated fob, be able to beat 2020 Leffen, who just played against ZAIN on FD 30 minutes ago, but already vented on Twitter about it?
Is it Sunsei today?
I would go so
Yeah.
far as to say Sunsei is favored to win. I think
Yeah.
Sunsei generally wins that.
Yeah.
Sunsei is already beating Leffen in like normal states, and you're giving optimal such conditions to Sunsei in a matchup that he's already like 2-0. Yeah, I'm taking Sunsei.
Okay.
Also, Sunsei's got that dog in him.
Chrome, you got to take Leffen?
I got to take Leffen because we're talking 2020 Leffen. That's Leffen before a lot of different things has happened. I think stronger. I think a little bit more angry in a productive way. Now he's a little bit more chill. He's happy. Playing against ZAIN on FD, that's, he would be playing Marth Sheik. Now he's playing Marth Fox, and he's like, you know what? I'm committed to Fox. I'm going to do it. I'm going to show everyone I'm the best one. I think Sunsei with 5 hours of Metafy lessons is worse than Sunsei. I think Sunsei's 5 hours of Metafy lessons are either from Drug Fox and just does not incorporate it quickly enough, or it's with Mewtwo King and they watch Disney videos together. I actually think it's a net negative for Sunsei and shakes him off of the golden path of improvement. I have to give this one to 2020 Leffen.
Binda.
Okay.
I really think that Sunsei would have it because when Leffen makes that tweet, he's stewing, okay? He is going to he's one of the few top players who will keep opening his phone, will look at the interactions, maybe reply to some like random Jim who's like just trying to piss him off. That is in his head for the whole
In
tournament.
this question,
especially,
we're clear that he already vented on Twitter about it. I think that
Yes,
indicates
no.
that he's off Twitter.
He vented on
He's
Twitter about
poisoned.
it, but the tweet is still getting interactions. He's still getting notifications for all the people who are trying to kick him when he's down,
Okay.
I
Bonfire,
actually
what do you
do.
think?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's already been specified that it's not a productive angry. It's not. So, no, he's getting tilted, and Sunsei is already good enough to be beating that.
Okay, let's move on to our final coffee memorial question. Could HBox pass the Twitch subscriber record if he won a tense Game 10 set against Cody, playing with a PPMD-inspired, neutral-based playstyle, but the player cams are in 360p and he's in a straitjacket?
Does he have a muzzle on?
In this hypothetical, yes, of course he does.
Okay. Can he get sturdy with it?
We're gonna have to leave that undefined for now.
Okay, then I need more time to think. Come to
Okay.
something else.
I saw a girl on Twitch recently play Elden Ring with like implants into her brain or something that were affecting the controller. And I think that HBox can do it if he's got that stuff. He just needs the technology, and his brain's already there.
I want to be clear, this muzzle does not completely block all sound. It merely muffles it. Who wants to take it first?
I listen.
Do you want me
So
to
here's
read it back to you? Do you need to reprocess it?
no, I'm good.
Okay.
Here's what I'm imagining, right? Does HBox pop off so hard he rips the straitjacket off? Does the muzzle fly off when he starts screaming, yes? Does that happen? Because
Absolutely.
if it does,
That's
then
exactly
yes,
what happened.
I think he surpasses Mango once and for all. He breaks records on Twitch. But I don't know if he'd reach number 1 on Twitch, but he would definitely just he would be getting hundreds of gift subs and be very happy about it.
if he ripped out of his straitjacket. Toph, what do you think?
Yeah, Jack. I mean, I've been running the mental, the mental model of how this actually
You
happens.
have a
And how
Monte
this goes
Carlo
down.
in your mind, yeah.
And I think he gets banned on Twitch before he breaks the subscriber record. So I say no.
Okay. That is our final regular question that leaves us now with
Wait,
just one. Oh, you have a take, Chroma?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he can't do it. I think he doesn't get there. I know what does, though. He has to make it to game 10. He has to have the PPE-inspired, neutral-based, white boy quirked out playstyle, but he has to lose. Because as we all know, Hungrybox does best when he loses for content. And he gives this sad sigh and says, gosh, I really would be I'd feel a lot better if somebody gave me 100,000 subs right now. And he gets it. He gets it frame one, because we know that.
So here's my question, Chrome. In this situation, is Hungrybox choosing?
When is he not?
Okay. Let's move on to our tiebreaker. Now, anybody who's a regular viewer of the show knows that in this show, everybody can participate in the tiebreaker. So despite us having a clear point leader, anybody can really snatch it at this point if Toph really drops the ball. So let's go into this final question. What content should Metify put out there that would make me subscribe?
I think.
Start off.
Go ahead.
You got it.
Okay. Listen, I was with you when you mentioned who was it? Chroma, was it when you mentioned the Mewtwo King Disney thing? Listen, we saw that the Yard, I think they had some kind of deal with Disney recently with some kind of widget they put out for your browser. I think Metify needs a deal with Disney, and they need to formalize this whole watching Disney movies with Mewtwo King thing. I might actually take them up on that if that was a real offering and not some
What are you talking about? I don't want to watch movies with Mewtwo King.
Have you tried it?
Okay, I might be pitchable. All right, anybody else who wants to go next?
All right. So what if Metify teamed up with StartGG and made a StartGG app? No one's ever thought of that before, I know. What if we actually had a StartGG app?
But I have to subscribe to it. Now, you got a note here. I use StartGG maybe twice or 3 times a year. I show up to the tournament. I say I got to go on the broadcast in 5 minutes, and they let me in. There's not much more to it. Bonfire.
I've been straight thinking. I cannot think of anything that I don't pirate online. So I don't know what would make me ever subscribe to something for money online. I don't know if you're that type of person, but it can't come from my brain. Because I can just Google blank free online and you get it. It shows up. It might be the third link, but it's there.
It's there. Yeah, you're a lover of the public domain and the not so public domain. Chroma.
If I know you, Jack, I know exactly what Metify needs to bring to you to get them to subscribe. And what this is it's Bobby Scar telling you everything is going to be okay and dissecting all the things that are wrong with your life, but not really wrong, fixable, doable, and that you can heal them, become a better person. And then at the end of it, Bobby Scar commits eco-terrorism against anybody who isn't promoting more housing. I think that's what Bobby Scar has to do.
Yeah.
Eco-terrorism.
It sounds like I should just drive or take an Uber over to Bobby Scar's house and tell him to get involved with local YIMBY groups and then see what he says. That being said,
he's going to convince you throughout the time.
So far, I would like you and Toph to have a showdown. Give me a topic that you two can agree on to have a showdown on to decide who wins the episode.
Either of us?
Yeah, I don't understand. Like,
I want you two to decide it. I feel like I'm taking my hands off the wheel. I want you guys to decide amongst yourself what the showdown will be, or Spin and Bonfire can suggest the showdown, but I can't decide which of you should win. Chroma nails the tiebreaker.
Were there any topics
behind that giving you the word feels dirty and cruel?
Were there any topics that we didn't go over out of the things that
let me pull one out from an old episode? I have a list of takes here. Oh, this is very good. Okay. This one is. Let me see if I can find an old Edwin take.
Edwin
had a take on Twitter today.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, yeah, he did.
Yeah, let's do that. Was the Ja Donkey Kong clip from Twitter today? Did you see this?
What did he do?
Are you aware of what I'm talking about, Toph?
No, but tell me about it.
I know. Yes, I know. I don't think Chroma's seen it.
Okay, I agree to this.
Sheik is on a platform, like throwing needles at him. Ja holds still, waits, and then goes in to do a crazy 0 to death. Cringe or based?
Cringe or based?
Cringe or based?
Is this
Chroma-
just between Toph and Chroma?
It's just
I
them.
don't. Yeah, I don't feel like I should. Because Chroma, have you seen the clip? You should probably see the clip before we debate it. Because otherwise, I feel like
see the
I
clip.
What's your
I
take
have
on
my
this
take
clip?
formed.
My take?
I know the answer to this.
Guys off
Actually.
of my screen. They
I
have
think-
nothing. This
Yeah.
is so
No,
horrible.
I have
think-
it.
First-
I'm waiting for Toph.
Okay. Well, my take is, here's the thing. I actually really appreciated that Edwin posted that. I think his response was incredibly based, and I think the reason for that is I think there is a sort of coalition that anything like Sheik does is lame, and anything Donkey Kong does is like lol, like funny, whatever. And I think Edwin like kind of coming out and posting like, "Hey, I actually think this is whack" or whatever. Like, I didn't really see it that way. I will admit that when I saw the video, I was kind of like, "Hey, whatever."
So fucking long.
I'm gonna leak. I'm gonna leak to win this episode. Jack, am
Go
I
ahead.
ready to? Okay.
Fine. You guys, I'm gonna make you
Having
both
not
lose.
seen this, I know why he posted it.
I
and he
have a
posted it
take.
because there was another Melee Stats player that has played Da on unranked, and Da BM'd them. Da would do stuff like explicitly just jab the Shine every single time, and just various ways to explain like, I don't like you, I don't like your play, and I disapprove of you. And there were some messages exchanged in the Discord, and Da said, I was having a bad day. And so Edwin has taken basically the shield of this Melee Stats player and said, you know what? I'm going to strike back for everyone who has been victimized by DK on unranked in this way.
Yeah. Okay. Spin to bonfire. Your chance to steal this win. This was an
Man,
uninspiring
You-
5 minutes.
It was
you guys
based.
went
Wonderful.
on and on about it. It's just all he's doing is just watching Sheik just sit there and just like throw needles, just run back and forth, not really do anything. It's not that big of a deal for Edwin to be like, I think the Twitter brainworm got to Edwin for a second, if I'm being honest. And it was like, man, because I saw a tweet before that was like, man, I just hate when people just BM players and blah, blah, blah. And they post the clip on Twitter and was taking it out on this random like Donkey Kong clip. All of Da's clips are like that. Like, I swear to you, it's always
you.
something silly like that.
On fire.
Yeah, no, just not moving in neutral is based. You're just waiting for the other player to do something, and they aren't. And you're not doing anything, and they're still not winning. That's sick. They're not doing shit, and they still
what can I
lose.
do? What can I do in the face of this senseless hate?
Double draw on the tiebreaker, which means we're going to go to the original point leader as our winner of the episode. That is Toph. Congratulations.
Yay!
Fourside Fights. Let's go over to our free-for-all. Everybody stay with us as we transition into the free-for-all. Toph is going to be commentating.
I gotta pee.
I'm so excited. Hi, I'm
Yeah.
commentating Super Smash Bros. Melee on Fourside. There's a helicopter. Jack, are you joining me? Is it just
I'm
me?
like a vampire. You have to invite me. The floor is yours, though, to start. If you
Oh,
want to shill,
okay.
if you
Well-
want to commentate, you can commentate.
Got
You
it.
can not commentate. The floor is yours.
Got it. Well, listen, I think this was a great episode. I love all of the guests that we had, and I actually think this is gonna be a pretty competitive one.
I'm down to just
send us-
not hit each other the entire time.
Someone will still SD. That's how this stage works. You're gonna be tempted by the walls and all the shenanigans and the UFO, and you're gonna do some tech skill stuff, and you're gonna SD. It's how it works. Dude, the last time I saw anybody actually play a match on Fourside was the last Fourside Fights, and Cody got diced up by Slime and
Yeah.
was it Hugs? Who was the other one? I know Scar.
We kind of 2v1'd him and while attacking each other.
Yeah, it was a match. I liked it. I liked that Slime won it. It was kind of a little bit of a surprise, but I do think that at the end of the day, there's definitely things you can do on the stage to increase your chances of winning here. So we got the UFO. I think that's Spin up top there, wave dashing around. And I gotta say, is that Spin? Is she the green fox? Just want to make sure. Alrighty. Okay, so yeah, Chroma caught between a rock and a hard place right now. Bonfire trying to throw some needles. I like that. You can't tech needles.
Chroma does not have that dog to do that refresh indefinitely.
For
He's
real.
missing the text on the wall.
Yeah, I was gonna say the first test of like, do they got what it takes on this stage is like, are they doing the wall jumps? Because you know when you wall jump and wall jump and wall jump all the way up. That's my favorite thing to do on Fourside. It's so much fun. Can't do it for too long though, because if you wall jump for too long, the successive wall jumps you get fewer, or you get less height. Right now, I gotta say they're playing to win, right? I feel like they're not really. They're kind of. I feel like
Definitely.
they've each claimed a building. They've claimed a building, and they're kind of landlording it. If I'm to
if you're
play
gonna be
to-
honest, yeah. In this moment, they are definitely at the beginning of the game was intense landlord energy of just standing there doing nothing and then hoping that we like them.
right, trying to collect rent, right? I got this building. Oh, okay. Spenda losing her first stock. And you know, I guess is that gonna kill? Yeah. Okay. So Bonfire as well, but Chroma down a full stock here. I mean, I'm predicting a 1v1 between Bonfire and Spenda, right?
Chroma just got destroyed, but keeps wall jumping.
No, that's what I like to see. He's adapting.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
adapting. Okay. So at the start of this, I was like, Chroma does not have a chance. But I think after that most recent exhibition, now
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, maybe he's turning it on. Oh. Was that a wave dash on the UFO?
Yeah, that was a close
Sliding?
encounter of the fox kind. You like that pun? You like that pun?
I really do. Yeah, that's if you've never, you know, if you're a newer Melee player and you've been playing competitively on Slippy, but you've never played since you picked up your advanced techniques on some of these wacky stages, try wave dashing on the UFO. You're gonna have a great time. Okay, Chroma down to his last stock, and here's what Chroma has to make. Oh, you could die here. Okay, Chroma getting a turn win. Oh, this is
I'm being
so
mean to
sketchy
people in
for
the
Chroma.
Twitch chat is my right.
I think Chroma just did some kind of Daraki wall jump by accident. No, yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Oh, he's done.
Chroma, if you just wall jumped, if you just wall jumped down there, I was. Oh. Okay, so it's a 1v1 as we predicted between Bonfire and Spinda, who were two definitely very good players. I mean, I think this is probably kind of what we expected. Bonfire missing the tech chase. Spinda, I mean, Fox probably has the advantage here, but
Yeah.
Sheik is better with these.
Oh,
these
no.
wall stages.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Does Laurel have the best B moves?
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Was that a down tilt? Spinda is a genius. So that's the problem with these stages is you can't actually tech chase if there's a wall right there. Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh no.
Oh my god, it's last stock. Jack,
No.
it's last
Oh
stock.
my god, the air
Oh
dodge.
my
I thought
God.
that was so the lag is heavy.
Is it?
It's not. It's 102 ping minimum, 90,
Oh my-
88 at the low end,
Oh my goodness gracious.
101 maybe at the high end. My bad.
Oh, and Spinda's going in. Bonfire's just trying to hold her ground. The ledge. I'm just. Yeah,
The way that characters run into walls in this game is incredible. They really feel it.
Yeah, dude, isn't it crazy? Like, you run on a wall, you're locked out of doing anything for like 30 frames. It's insane. Your character
God.
does the worm. Oh my god. And Spinda clutches
Oh my
it.
god.
All right, let me unmute and hear it.
Oh my
need to-
god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well played, Spinda.
That's my favorite one, I think.
Oh my
Well
god.
played. What an
Oh my
incredible
God.
fourth
That was
side
tough.
fight. 4 outstanding pundits. We will see you again in 2 weeks. Hope you all enjoyed it. See you soon. Congratulations to Toph and to the winner of the Fourside fight, Binda.
Spinda. Woo.